Okay, this is the one most, if you ask me, if you want to refer, this is more appropriate, more easy to understand. Why? You see this point? What is this point? Risk. Okay, so this portion is the origin cost. Whoever the seller's cost, this portion, the rate, is the buyer's cost. So this, I think, is the best chart for you to look into it, because it's quite simple compared to most of the flows. So I believe now over there, friend, just now you were mentioning, if you look at CIP and CPT, you see, it's quite the same. So to put it into more, is this one, the insurance is paid, can be negotiated to cover at certain point. But here, totally insurance is not covered, that's all only. This one, CIP, the buyer can negotiate or bargain with the seller to cover at this point or at this point can. It can be extended or even up to this point. But under the rules, it ends here. Okay? So, X work is the maximum risk for buyer. DDP is the maximum risk for seller, opposite. So, the rest are in between. Clear? Any question? All okay? Following?
Is it possible that when we ship out, we choose DTP during export? When arrival time, then they like ding dong about the payment and then they want to change the Incoterm.
That's why again I said, when you don't put it into a contract, these things happen lah. Suddenly you see got risk, I change. Halfway change. Not possible. I mean, it is not ethical lah, but it is still again falls back to sales contract. Now at the time of shipment, you agreed, the buyer will say, you already agreed to send me a DDP. Now because things happen here, so that is why we always say that we don't want to take a risk. I always tell that we don't take a risk at another country where you cannot control. So use your DAP terms, will be better. Then the DAP what? You cover everything. Let them address the local issue, the custom clearance issue, the permit issue, the duty issue. That will be the best, if you ask me. Or you send CIF or CIP or etc. Okay? So if you ask me, it is not possible to change like that lah. But then again, buyer and sellers, or they can apportion the cost lah. But that's why I say, why you want to export DDP? Are you in control of everything? Are you desperate? Or you are very sure that your product will have no problem? Then you send it to DDP. So if you want to send DDP, communicate with your agent thoroughly, ask them all the questions, find out whether they have any restriction, any prohibition, everything, address it, then only you ship it. If you want to really mati-mati, you still have to go DDP. Okay, that will be the best lah. But if you ask me, if you can avoid DDP, you avoid. Because you tak boleh control dekat negara lain. Macam, okay, let's say your customer export the goods to Malaysia, DDP. Then there is a problem with the custom. The buyer cannot do much also. Okay, then there may be a delay. Maybe can clear, delay. Then additional what? D&D, storage. We got kena the car. We sent to China DDP, go into China, they say need permit, took another 2 weeks. And then the seller, because they want to test the car in China, so the cost has to be paid by the seller. So it's a negligence. You never thoroughly check out whether all these things can be addressed or not. Okay? Then there was also this DDP First, they said it's not a dangerous goods, no problem. Went into China, they say this is a dangerous good. The storage charges increase. So the buyer won't pay. Okay. All right, any question on this? So I think this will be one of the very good chart, easy to understand, very simple, straightforward lah. You can check it in the internet. Okay, this is the format I was mentioning. The formats, take note these formats, you see. Which point? Very specific. This is the correct way of doing normally you see Incoterm, CIF, that's all only. You don't see this full format. But when go to the court of law, any dispute arise, it will be very difficult. So firstly, the formatting must be correct as per Incoterm. You can also use Incoterm 2010 if you want, but make sure that this Incoterm is applicable the past year. Okay, if you use 2010, then go back and check what is correct for 2010. So this is the correct Incoterm. So you see DDP, ABC, Sendirian Berhad, Klang, Incoterm 2020, which means the seller will pay everything until the customer premises. Correct? Xwork ABC Private Limited, Sydney, Australia. That means the goods will be available at ABC Private Limited only. It won't be any. It cannot be another XYZ place. So, according to the agreement, this is the place you need to pick up your goods for Xwork. This is the place you need to deliver your goods. Let's say the Incoterm is ABC Sendirian Berhad. Then, for some reason, the customer says he wants to send to another place. Instead of Klang, he wants to send to Ipoh. Then the extra cost the seller has to pay lah, because it's already agreed the point, name place. So this is what we call the name place. Very important to be very specific on the named place. The named place is the one that will give the full information to the Incoterm. If you don't mention the name place, then there is a lot of grey area. Banyak disputes will arise later. Okay? Alright? Okay, academics? Boleh? Boleh ya? Alright, any question? Any question? All clear? Boleh? Okay, yes.
So what is the purpose of...
Wait,
okay, so what is the changes from 2010 Incoterm and 2020, like except for the Incoterm? What is the other changes? Like, what is the purpose of updating?
Okay, maybe I think you missed the first session here. I think you didn't see this, right? So, if you look at these changes, at any the technological and the manual error, if you see 1936, there wasn't a container ship in those days. And then in 1980, we what we call the multimodal transport started to take place. That means using containerization, one single published rate from point A to point B using different modes of transportation. Even one transportation can move by rail, by road, by ship. So to accommodate all these, this is where the evolution of all the Incoterms took place. Okay, and if you look at this, so these are the revisions according to the time. If you look at the custom HS code, there is this HS code. HS code now they are using HS 2022. So that also same. We have HS12, HS 2012, and then we have 2007. Because of technological changes, then they change these terms according to accommodate these latest technological changes. Okay? All right, clear? Okay. Okay, I think we are almost at the last part here. Okay, benefits to all parties because have become essential framework in daily language of trade, international trade, as it covers a clear rules and guidance. So it's not a law, it's not a regulation, okay, it's a to importers, exporters, forwarders, everybody, all the supply chain links where they basically gives a clear guideline, okay. I think the slides will be shared later if I've given to Adila. One, then I've shared, they should share to you, or if you know, then let me know, I will share. However, if incorrectly used, the contract may be ambiguous, lacking some important details, or even impossible to perform, causing a lots of misunderstandings and prejudice, where you will have a lot of legal tussle, okay, disputes. When Incoterms are not properly addressed, as I explained again, Incoterms is one, sales contract is one. If you want to go to the legal aspects, the Incoterm must be clearly defined in the sales contract, then only we called it as binding. Otherwise, the Incoterm itself can be disputed. Okay? Okay, that's all. Any question? All right, if you have any questions, you can always come back to us, email to us. I will try to explain further. All right, we are always reachable. The admin has got our emails. I think the CB knows very well. Okay. So if you need the slides, if you need further clarification, I'm open to discuss further, explain to you further. We don't end it over here. All right. So with that, thank you very much for giving your time at this hour, and then I know it was very difficult, but I think from the questions that you all have raised, so I believe after this, you will have at least a better understanding of Incoterms. And thank you very much. Bye. Okay? All right. Yeah? Courier service. Courier service is already covered the DDP already. So, already. Okay, right. So, it's okay, no problem. If you have any questions, you can always, CB, you will know. Academics, I believe Adila has my contacts. All right. Feel free to discuss. And then I think this one, not all the Incoterms, since it's already now off. Off ready and camera okay, yeah? So this, not all the Incoterms are applicable in Malaysia, especially CPT, CIP. But if you want to use for, it's also possible. Incoterms, let's say, it can always be extended by mutually between the buyer and seller. You can always, you do your own modification and bind it in your contract, that's all only. But I don't know whether all will bind in the contract or not. I don't think so. Okay, so this is the reason why I'm stating this contract is even when I go for training also the same. They have already mentioned about sales contract, because otherwise this Incoterms is dead. It doesn't got any meaning. If a dispute arrives, for guidance, okay, but when the problem arises, the dispute arises, very difficult to manage.